What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Covers Live. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again with yet another live stream where we get together as a community and talk about whatever topic I've come up with for the week, and this week is no exception. Another thing that's no exception this week is having last-minute technical issues right before the stream. It just always seems to happen to me. I don't know what the deal is, but I have an Alpine Linux install on a laptop that I intended to use to demonstrate Distrobox with, and I tried to boot that system up just now, and Grub would not actually boot the system. It just like turns the machine off. And apparently this is a well-known issue with the latest update of Grub in Alpine, or it had been recently. So I got bitten by that, so we're a little bit late, but that's okay. What we're gonna do is try to do Distrobox in Geeks. It doesn't work, but we're gonna make it work. Famous last words. And then we're gonna check out Distrobox. But until then, let me say hello to the folks who are here yet. Hello to Tish, Minas Mazar, BSD Toaster, cool, Grizzly, Peter, Spencer, Yogesh, and over on the IRC side, I see Imretka, Glenn, Fade, Pie the Sailor, Alternate Bed, Redacted. Redacted says, "You're a system crapper. Stuff is gonna break." Yes, it breaks far too often. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Dave. Yeah, I don't know. I installed Alpine because I just want to play with Alpine again, and we used it last week for the Hyperland stream. But the problem is that I had to turn on the Edge repository in Alpine, which is basically like the bleeding edge changes to all packages. And because I installed a system upgrade there, it gave me the issue that I had. So that's fine. Benoit says, "It's the process." Yes. Hello, Benoit. It is the process indeed. Hello to CryptK5. All right. So updates. Big announcements next week. Last week I mentioned that I would be announcing the next iteration of some courses I've been working on for Guile Scheme. I'm not going to announce them this week because I'm sort of taking into account some feedback I've been getting from the current iteration of the course. The course has been going really well, but there's a couple things I want to improve about it, and I just want to make sure I've kind of digested all of the feedback and have my plan in place before I announce it. But I think next week might be the time when I do that. So also some other things next week that I'll be announcing, which will be fun. So definitely sign up to the newsletter or catch next week's stream, and you'll be able to see what I have to let you know about, which is cool. Fade says, "Friday arrived fast this week." Yeah, definitely. It definitely felt like a short week. I had way too many random errands and responsibilities this week. You know, a lot of things going on. Trying to get our older kid into a new school, trying to get the younger kid into a school or a daycare. All kinds of extra jobs to do. So yeah, it's kind of flown by, and I have not gotten as much done as I wanted to, but that's life. Life with kids for sure. All right. Let me pause something really quick. Also, I just wanted to remind people to join the forum. I announced the new System Crafters forum a couple weeks ago. Forum.systemcrafters.net. And it's a nice place to hang out if you want to ask questions about Emacs, Geeks, any other topics related to the channel. And you should definitely go join and join us in some conversations here. Dave says that forum is very active already. Yeah, it's definitely active. I'm very happy to see all the people joining. We have new people every day coming and asking questions or sharing links to stuff that they built, which I think is awesome. So it's not just about asking questions. It's a community forum. If you want to go share links to new projects, or maybe like a blog post that you wrote that's relevant to the community, or a video that you made, or anything like that. The idea here is for everybody to be able to come and sort of share what they're working on, ask questions, maybe get some help with your project, maybe find people to help you work. Like if you want to have, collaborators on projects. Yeah, and it's going really well from that perspective. I still need to do a lot of work in sort of organizing everything more effectively, tweaking the theme. There's a lot of work left to do, and I've been working mainly on the course these last couple of weeks, but it has been very nice so far. I'm really happy with the Discourse software. It's been great, actually. So kudos to the folks who wrote Discourse. So I just wanted to point out, like, there's been lots of great discussions there recently, like the one where I believe it was Unruffled Lumiere posted about an idea of a cloud init configuration management written in Lua or Fennel. So it's something like Geeks Inspire, but using Fennel instead. So it's an interesting thought if you are interested in thinking about ways to apply things that are Lispy, but to similar ideas that we've seen in the channel so far. So give that a look, and also the other posts recently. Let's see. Hello to Luxaplex. Luxaplex, is that right? Okay. All right. And I think that's it for this week. There's probably other news around in the world worth mentioning, and I'm totally blanking on it. I've just been too busy. I noticed that Prot had a stream this week, which seemed like a really cool stream. So if you haven't been watching Prot's channel recently, Protesela Stavru, you should go check out his stream that he did this week. He was working on some of his projects on a live stream, which is cool. Other than that, can't think of anything. We'll figure it out as we go on. T says, first stream I could catch. Cool. That's great. Glad to have you. All right. So there's no information on this slide because that's how we like to do it here. But the question I want to answer today is how many Linux distros can we run at the same time? And by that, I mean, if we use this software called Distrobox, how many different Linux distros can we run, or how many programs can we run from different Linux distributions? Just as a way to see how far we can take our configuration or workflow on a given Linux distribution. So let me just roll back a little bit and tell you what Distrobox is before I say too much more. So Distrobox is basically a piece of software that is able to spawn up Docker containers. Well, they're not really Docker containers. I don't know. Was it OCI containers or something else? Anyway, they're containers using Docker or Podman, and there's maybe like another one that they can use. The idea is that you would have a full Linux environment for a particular Linux distribution inside this container. And what Distrobox does is it makes it easy to get these containers installed, to launch them, to share resources with your machine, like your home directory or other hardware that you have on your system, and sort of just smooth out the process of launching software from that container and having it work on your Linux machine as if it was just something you installed in your normal Linux environment. So if you use something like GNU Geeks, or if you use something like Alpine Linux, which both of those sometimes have problems running random Linux software for various reasons. Geeks because Geeks doesn't follow the normal Linux file system hierarchy, and also it links to shared libraries a little bit differently. And Alpine Linux because it uses Muzzle C by default, which is a different implementation of the standard libc library. It's not GNU libc. So sometimes you also have issues there because programs are built against glibc on, like, let's say Ubuntu or Debian, and you try to run them in Alpine and they just don't work. So if you use a program like Distrobox that can run software out of containers and make it appear that they are running in your local machine, then you can use whatever software you can find in any distribution. So if you have a program that does work well in Ubuntu and you're using Alpine or Geeks, you should be able to use Distrobox to run that program on your local machine and more or less have a seamless experience. Now, it could be the fact that, or it could be the case that it only really works well if you're using Wayland. I'm not sure about that, but I think that Wayland does make this situation a little bit more straightforward. The Wayland, Pipewire, etc., because this more modern stack is being used quite frequently in something called cloud-based distributions? Cloud-based distribution, is that what it's called, or is it something else? Cloud native distribution. There's a lot of work going on by is that right? Bluefin, is that what it's called? Oh man, What was I looking at before? Alternate Vet suggested some things to me before the stream, and there's sort of like a whole, what is it, blue build? Yeah, we're just looking at phishing stuff now on the stream, which is great, right? Anyway, it's sort of like spawned off of like Fedora Silverblue and other container-based distributions. The idea is that uBlue, yeah, okay, uBlue. Redacted says, we're going to find out what the LD50 of Linux is. Yeah, if we do that, then the stream's going to die. So I hope we don't get that far. uBlue. So I think it's universalblue.org. Is that right? Is it loading? Are you loading? Is it happening? Yeah, okay. Anyway. So, Fedora, the community around Fedora, which is like an offshoot of Red Hat Linux, have done a lot of work trying to make container-based Linux distributions be feasible, I guess, for a normal desktop environment. And the idea there is that if you have a good stack of software that makes it possible to run programs from inside containers, or like, let's say from Flatpak, etc., then you should be able to sandbox various different applications or update them more regularly without having to worry about what's going on with the host operating system. There's a lot of stuff that we don't really need to go into detail on, but the point being, I think that Wayland and Pipewire will probably make this easier, but I could be wrong about that. Maybe Xorg is just fine. But we're going to try it out today. We're going to see how far we can get with Distrobox for running software in this way, if we get it up and running. And we may actually experiment with something like Universal Blue, or what was the other one called? It's based on this Blue build. There's some other related projects that we might investigate at some point, just because it's kind of interesting. Redacted says cloud native distros. I already hate it. Yeah, it's not really. Did they say it here? Cloud native. I think cloud native is a really terrible name. Because it does make you think that it's like, oh, we're doing, we're running apps in the cloud. No, it's not really that. It's just because they're using containers. But I guess everybody got a little bit too drunk on the cloud hype. Dave says that this really seems part of the Flatpak trend, which I do not like. I think Flatpak is kind of a necessary evil in some ways, but maybe I'd rather run it out of a container than out of a Flatpak. I don't know. Okay, what am I seeing here? Let's see. Somebody else's computer, Fade says, after 10 years, I've been seeing a pretty strong uptick in people repatriating compute loads from the cloud to on-premises hosts. Yeah. Benoit says, no message on screen. Oh. Is the chat not working? Let me see if I can refresh the stream chat. I'll probably get blasted. Ah, there it is. Okay. Thanks, Benoit. Hey, Gun. Yeah, apparently the chat has not been showing up the whole time. Sorry about that. All right, so let's get back to it. We're going to try to run Distrobox, and I've tried this already in a vterm shell, and it did not work. And it's giving me some messages that, let's see, text scale increase. I don't remember what things. Okay, there you go. That's better. It's giving me some errors saying that there's a missing containers registries.conf and a missing containers policy.json file. I might have to run this in a Geeks container to make this work. Alternate Vet says, did you set up Podman on Alpine? No, I hadn't done that yet because I was going to do it on the stream, but then I couldn't boot Alpine, so that was the problem there. Okay, so let's see if we can get this working. I need to find Geeks container. Is there a command in Geeks? So Geeks container help. Can it make a basic? No. Geeks system container. Geeks system help. Because I don't want to have to be messing with my personal config right now just to make this work. All right, so contain. Oh, okay. So it's Geek System Container. Yeah, there's not a thing. I'm basically, I just want to get like a basic container configuration to use to chest this with. We don't want that. Geek system containers. Database container. Okay, can you give me that? Great. So I'll just steal all this and make your temp Distrobox. Just use Debian, Fade says. Well, I would have to install that. All right, so in this folder, we'll get rid of this Postgres configuration. I don't know if that's going to work, but maybe it doesn't matter. You just need a, okay, yeah. Sure. Okay, so we don't need databases, but I do want to get Docker in there, I think. I hope Docker works in a Geeks container. We're about to have a lot of trouble otherwise. I'll just do it in my own system config. But I found a forum post, which gives a little hint on how we might accomplish this goal, which is to use a simple service and throw some files into the /etc folder. Is that the right path it's looking for? So if you don't know about it already, alternate vet says Geeks plays better with Docker. Not necessarily. I mean, it works. But Podman it doesn't work as well with because you need C groups. Podman is in the package repo, but I've seen people complain that it doesn't work out of the box. Where was the error I was looking for? Okay, etc. containers policy. It's okay. Containers registries conf. All right, so these are the two files that I need. Oh, storage.conf. I don't have btrfs. Let's take that one out for now. Probably don't need that. Whoa. Okay. All right, so file /policy.json. And I'll copy this file in, which looks like it's meant to just allow anything, which is a fantastic thing to do. I hope it works. Yeah, you need C groups. I think you need C groups just to make sure the user has access to everything to run the rootless container. All right. So we got that in place. This should set the policy file in the right place at least. Packages. What, oops. So Docker, that is in GNU packages Docker. What about Distrobox? GNU packages containers. So we're gonna use package modules, Docker and containers. I don't think we need that. List Docker. Probably need to put in the base packages there too, don't I? So maybe like a little font star. Base packages, if I'm right about that. Distrobox. I'm only Hey, Christine. I'm only running this in a Geeks container because I don't want to be monkeying with my full system config. Christine says, may I distract the stream with something I think the stream wants to hear? Yes, please. User-defined modules just landed in Hoot. That's a very exciting piece of news. Whenever Hoot 0.4 comes out, I'll definitely be trying it on stream because I've been meaning to. I actually thought about doing it today, but I kind of wanted to wait till 0.4 came out. So we'll definitely be taking a look at that in the very near future. Okay, so we've got the policy file. Let's just try to get this rolling. Go to the vterm and then geek system container config.scm. I don't think this is gonna work, but we'll see what happens. Error, not a number. Okay. I think I just need the config.scm. Did you forget a use modules form? GNU packages. Maybe. Hey. Doesn't want to switch to the other window. Fantastic. Oh, base packages. So Alt O is no longer switching windows. That's fantastic. Let's see how long this takes. In the meantime, yeah, definitely excited about the new changes in Guile Hoot. I think we're getting much closer to Hoot being in a place where you can start doing application development with Guile in the browser much more easily, because you can factor out your code into your own modules, because you can't do that right now. With Hoot, you basically have to write all of your code as one file, maybe with some includes, but you can't use actual modules like where you can load on the module path. So it was a little bit more tricky, I think, to write Hoot programs in the last few months, but I think it will be a lot easier now. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to writing some single-page app style code with Hoot. Okay. Hopefully this will finish quickly. So while we're doing that, Dave says, yeah, it would be much easier. Stay tuned. My guess is that the 0.4 blog post will make that very obvious. Okay. So Distrobox, what it does. It's a fancy wrapper around Podman, Docker, or Lilypod to create and start containers that are highly integrated with the hosts, based on OCI image. It has various commands. The important ones being to create and enter a container. Wrapper to launch commands with Distrobox command instead of calling the single files. Okay. Why? To provide a mutable environment on an immutable OS. Like these that are not Geeks or Nicks, Endless OS, Fedora Silverblue, Micro OS, Chrome OS, or Steam OS 3. So I've not tried any of these really. In fact, I don't even know what Endless OS is. Oh, why did it link me to a markdown file? Hey, Drashel and Trev. Empowerment through learning and agency. Okay. User-friendly operating systems. Okay, so my guess is that this is intended to be like a Chromebook style OS, which makes sense. I mean, good to have a really high-quality, stable operating system for anyone. Because, you know, devices are easy to get your hands on these days, and if you can put a really solid OS on there, then it'd be pretty useful. All right, let's see if we can run this container. Do I need to sudo that? Yeah, apparently so. Oh boy, here we go again with the whole rigmarole. Trev is the backup agent of chaos because Oshraz is not here today. Do we really need to have this whole entropy situation here? Okay, I'm going to have to end up changing my own system config. Which I suppose it's only a one-time thing, so maybe it's not a huge problem. I'm just kind of like not crazy about it. LeftPad is not here. LeftPad made an appearance before the stream, but then disappeared because I think you know, LeftPad and Oshraz often they go together. What is going on here? All right, okay, let's just do this. I'm not going to sit and wait on this, and I'm not going to make you wait on it either. Let's go in my config, .files, David Will, systems, base maybe. Can I put it in Phantom instead? Do I have a services list? Yeah, I can do that. All right, services, const star. Those of you who've been learning Guile with me recently, const star is basically a special little... Oh wait, Copilot, come on now. Special little function. I don't know if it comes with Geeks or if it's a Guile thing, but basically it's like a function that can const a number of items onto a list. Rochelle says, when did the live chat shift to IRC? I don't know. It's been a few months ago. Okay. Let me paste that in there. Okay, simple service. Awesome. Okay, Dave says that const star is in the default Guile environment. Yeah, it's a handy function indeed. Okay, so we got the policy file there. That should be enough to get us on our way. So let me, man, what is going on? It's still generating the entropy. Oh, as usual. Okay, there we go. Finally. Okay, so update system. That's my own little script. Firmware file is empty. What did I do? Oh, haha. Okay, I need that policy.json file. Can I just throw that in manually? I don't care. Home, David will, temp dash distrobox. Whatever. Here we go. Oh, you can't pick an absolute file? Wrong type argument in position 1. Expecting empty list. Oh, my mistake. I did not give a list to the const star. Is it that one? Okay, here we go. We'll get there. Grizzly says, doing this for fun? You're as crazy as I am. Yeah, I do a lot of very dumb things for fun. Because experimenting with new things in the computer space is fun. You have to defeat the boredom. Okay, here we go. I don't know how long this is going to take. I think I updated my system since the last time I polled. But if I didn't, this may take a while. Let's go back to looking at the information about Distrobox and not Endless OS. To provide a locally privileged environment for suitless setups, to mix and match a stable base system with a bleeding edge environment. So that's sort of the thing that's interesting to me is like, if you wanted to have a base system, like let's say you want to keep a minimal Alpine install as your working environment, and then you want to have containers that can run various pieces of software that you don't really want to install in your system, or maybe you need a different version that what comes in Alpine or Geeks, etc. It's easy to install those through Distrobox and run them. It could also be used for setting up development environments that you want to tear down quickly or reuse. It says, there's a procedure I've never seen. Yes. You mean const star? Leverage high abundance of curated distro images for Docker Podman to manage multiple environments. So high abundance of curated distro images. Support a host, distros, container distros. Let's take a look at what containers we can use with Distrobox. Which distros? So Alpine, Alma Linux, which I'm not really sure what that is. Amazon Linux. Yes, my dream in life is to be using Amazon Linux. Arch, obviously. Azite, I think that's for Steam Deck. CentOS, Debian, Fedora, OpenSUSE, Red Hat, Rocky, Ubuntu. Let's see. Clear Linux, Crystal Linux, Deepin, Gentoo, Nero Debian. What's that? KDE Neon, Kali Linux, Oracle Linux. All right, we'll be joining the Death Star there. Ubuntu, Slackware. Ooh, Slackware. Let's see that. Void Linux, Vanilla OS. There's a few here I would try. You know, like Slackware, I reminisce on the days that I used Slackware in like 1996. But every time I look at possibly installing it, I'm just like, there's no way, man. No way. Just because it seems painful compared to, you know, the modern Linux distribution experience, in my opinion. Hannah Montana Linux. I don't know, man. Doesn't sound like fun to me. Benoit says, where are your Slackware 1 foot tall stack of floppies? Yeah, I think I had a CD. I definitely had like a boot disk floppy for Slackware. But I believe I was able to get the CD-ROM to work, and the CD-ROM had all the installation files on it. Dave says, I love using Crystal Linux while sipping Crystal Pepsi. Do they started making that again, didn't they? You definitely don't want to have like a can of Crystal Pepsi from the 1990s and drink that while you're installing Crystal Linux, because you might not be around long enough to even use Crystal Linux. Fade says, for servers, I think Debian is the only sane choice. Debian is good. Trev says, while programming in Crystal the language. Let's see. Go back to the YouTube side. Grizzly says, I tried Slackware back in the day. Slackware was cool. And, you know, it's sort of like a reference to the Church of the Subgenius. So it has some old school internet cool points. It says downloading the kernel and the GNU userland from Usenet and cross-compiling them on a Sun 3. Yeah, back in the day, you had to get the source code for everything Linux related on the internet through Usenet and probably BBS's, who knows, and then build that and run it. Dave says Breaking Bad discussion is happening in the main channel. Yes, we started talking about Crystal things and some other ideas got presented. I mean, maybe. It says, it's not like there's no reason I'm bald. Yes, I think that would definitely take some years off your life. Man, this is going to take a while, isn't it? You know, I promise people I had every intention of just being ready to boot up Alpine and then have this thing running in like 2 minutes, but Alpine didn't want to cooperate today. So I blame Alpine and I blame LeftPad. What else can we see here? This project aims to bring any distro userland to any other distro supporting Podman, Docker, or LilyPod. Has been written in POSIX shell to be as portable as possible. So apparently Distrobox itself is just a shell script that, I mean, it makes sense. It's sort of just wrapping calls to Docker or Podman. So it doesn't really need to be a program per se, because all it would be doing is just shelling out to those programs the whole time. Gunn says, those were the days in alt.binaries, hundreds of slices of base64 encoded RAR archives with checksum files. Well, people still do that. There's a lot of, you know, I think Usenet, one of the primary uses still of it is just piracy. Like, if you just go look for TV show downloads and things of that nature. I'm not promoting the idea that people should pirate, things that you could find on overpriced streaming services. But, news groups could be a place where you find these things. Rashal says, wait, David Will's bald? Well, we were talking about Fade being bald, but yes, I'm somewhat bald. Why do you think I'm wearing this hat? Okay, now we got some gateway timeouts, servers somewhat slow, and I'm sure that the stream is slow because I'm running all this on the same machine, which is always a mistake. Alternate Vet says, to promote merch? No, couldn't be that. I was wearing a Geeks hat, and someone else's merch. Got to keep the melon worm. Hey, Sean. Yes. Grizzly says, my first job was as a COBOL programmer. Well, people still get paid to write COBOL, surprisingly enough. Okay. Still taking 20 years to get done. Is the stream lagging? Yes, the stream is lagging because I'm installing things on the same machine as I'm running the stream. That will be a problem that will be solved soon. I'm going to get all my ducks in a row, and I'll have resources here to get a new computer, and we'll be off to the races. Okay, so when Distrobox works, I should be able to use Distrobox create to make a container environment that we can run things in. For instance, like Ubuntu 2004 or any other distro that I'm interested in. We have that list of distributions here. It's got all the names of the distribution images that you want to use. Benoit says, Shom, are you the real Shom? Yes, that's the real Shom. Shom's incognito. I think Shom may not remember the password to Nixserve, which makes sense. Okay. So if we were to try anything, I would probably use Debian, maybe Fedora. Like, let's make a list here. Let's make a list of all the distros we want to drop at the same time, which is going to be a nightmare. But, you know, we like to do nightmarish things here. It's all good, you know, part of the fun. Debian, yes. Let me pull up that folder, distros.txt. Text file. All right, Debian 12. I don't care about CentOS. We can go with Fedora 39. Arch plus Aura. I don't think we have time to go like tweaking those kinds of things. Benoit says, give us your password. We'll help you. What you should do, everyone listening right now, I promise this works. If you type your password into the chat, it will automatically turn your password into stars after you press enter when it sends it into the chat. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to get banned from YouTube. Okay. Red Hat, nah. Rocky Linux, I don't really know what that is. Ubuntu, sure. I mean, Debian, Ubuntu, what's the difference? Telling people that their password gets turned into stars after they press enter is like the new Alt F4 to see something cool of the 2010s, 2020s. What year are we in now? I can't keep track anymore. Rocky is based on Red Hat Enterprise Linux. That's right. That's right. I remember. Alpine. That's probably the super base image. Hunter 2. Oh no. Nick. Hello, Nick. Nick says Alma Linux and Rocky Linux are successors to CentOS. Any progress here? Come on, geeks, let's go. All right, Katie, Neon Gentoo, sure. Is stage 3 installed, Gentoo? Okay. Just out of curiosity, let's see what happens. Slackware, of course. And Void Linux. I guess we'll have to try some more. Trev says Kali Linux gives you the hacks. Yeah, you know, I don't want to show people how much I know about hacking computers because then you'll all be scared that I'm just like siphoning your bank account details whenever you're connected to IRC. All right, so we got a few things, you know, queued up here for whenever Geeks finally decides to install the software. There we go. It's doing something. Rachel says, I don't know how I'm pasting random things in here. You're probably like right-clicking or middle-clicking on your mouse or touchpad, and it just pastes things in. Alternate Ved says, we pay with data for streams. Yes, it's definitely going to be lagging as a result of this installation. Uh-oh. We drop some frames. I think we're good now. Yeah, anytime the computer starts doing anything too heavy, it just starts dropping frames. Okay. Is it finally making progress? It looks like we're dropping frames quite regularly here. Let me know if the stream ever starts like going out entirely. This is the worst idea I've had in a while. Almost 1 hour in, and we're not even close to getting Distrobox working. Running things in a VM could be a possibility. If it goes that direction. Okay, looks like the stream stabilized a little bit. Whereas I think Dershal has a ghost in his Emacs. Sounds about right. Imagine if it started trying to compile the Linux kernel right now. Yes, the stream is lagging. We know. Oh, boy. Just trying to think if there's anything else worth mentioning about Distrobox here. Configuration, don't care. Yeah, scrolling is also going to cause a problem. Shouldn't do that too much. It wasn't supposed to go like this. Okay, so there's a FAQ with different little tips. What should we do while we wait? Pray, I think. Launch a Distrobox from your applications list. So let's see. Containers created will automatically generate a desktop entry. That's cool. So that you can just launch it really easily. Create a Distrobox with a custom home directory. So by default, I think it takes your own home directory into the container, which you might want in many cases, but you may not want in some cases. So you can actually use a home flag to have a different directory be your home directory. Mounting additional volumes, that makes sense. Using a different shell than the host will execute the login shell of the container's user by default. Okay, I mean, maybe you don't really need that. Rashal says you should consider going for NixOS because that's binary cache. What you're looking at right now is geeks installing things from the binary cache. So this is not we're not building from scratch right now. It's just I'm running a stream at the same time on this computer, and there's too much network load and CPU load. Enable SSH forwarding, okay. Using Docker, okay, so create Docker, container with an init system. Oh, using a Podman rootful container using Docker using the unshare all flag. Yeah, running Docker recursively only works under certain circumstances. Okay. So yeah, if you need to use containers inside a container, they have some information for you on this page. Man, it's just taking 20 years for this to finish. Saving and restoring containers. Pre-installing additional package repositories. Okay, I guess if you needed to automate setting these up, you could do it. Pre-init hooks. Okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, easier to deal with that. Drashal says, I wonder if there's a way to use QEMU VM like Distrobox. I don't know. I think there's a way to pop out desktop applications into your environment with QEMU, but that's so heavy to have to run a full VM just to do that. So I would personally try to avoid it. Luxaplex says, why are you not running these things on a VM? Because I did not have time to set up a VM. Suddenly, Emacs. Yeah, I'm trying to bounce back and forth here just to check on the status of this Geeks system config. Yes, this is the most exciting thing I could be doing right now on the stream, trust me. Should we just play solitaire instead? All right. So this whole time is just sitting here updating substitutes. All right, let me think about this for a second. Using Docker inside of Distrobox. What if I don't want to use Distrobox inside of Docker? Okay, things are moving again slightly. Oh, it's the same thing we just looked at. Using Docker inside of Distrobox. Yeah, we don't want that. Waiting. This is why I didn't want to try with my system config, but Emacs Tetris. All right. And because I'm using... Yes, this is exactly what the stream needs. It's just me playing Tetris while waiting for geeks to finish a job. All right, here we go. Place your bets. Place your bets for how many people stay on the stream while I pretend to play Tetris. While I wait on geeks to finish installation. It really needs a sound for the row clearing. What a night. What I really want is for people to be watching me play Tetris badly and be screaming at their screens at home. Trying to tell me not to do the wrong thing. But let's not do that, though. I like that gap. Come on, geeks, let's go. You're making us all wait here. I should play Trev's awesome Tetris clone. What would that be? Trevtris. Tetris bot via chat. I guess that's possible. I'm not going to make you watch me play Tetris, but I don't know what else to do. All right, that's enough. Need to maximize four lines play? Yes, of course. Yogi says, can you tell us about the end vision? The end vision of the System Crafters Forum? End vision. Oh, what does an end vision mean, I guess? Do I intend for the System Crafters Forum to like take over the universe? Well, the System Crafters Forum right now is just a place to share and to ask questions, but ultimately, and the other thing is I'm sort of doing the communication about courses I have running on Geek Substitute died unexpectedly. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, course communications go on there, which has been quite convenient actually. But then I want to organize certain things there, like hackathons. So that's something that's going to happen fairly soon. I haven't got like a plan yet, but it's something I want to do this year. At least one hackathon. We could even do like a game jam at some point, maybe. I don't know if people would be interested in such a thing. But also, kind of like like a mini conference type deal. It wouldn't necessarily be, excuse me, be on the forum, but it might be organized on the forum. So there's all of this sort of community activity where, you know, things need to be done in more than just single line messages should be happening on the forum. IRC is not necessarily the best place for these things, nor is Matrix. So the forum is a great place for, oh, Trev has a great idea. The forum is a great place for, you know, longer form discussion. So because we're having such a hard time getting anything to work today, we're gonna have to talk to the doctor. Doctor, help me. Can't get Distrobox to work. The stream is a failure. And they're all making fun of me. Why do you say that? Because it's happening right now. Is it because it's happening right now that you came to me? No, you idiot. I need some advice. Earlier, you said it's happening right now. Yes. What makes you believe this is so? Because I have the gift of human perception, and I'm not an idiot. Does it bother you that you have the gift of human perception and you're not an idiot? Right now it does, buddy. Maybe your life has something to do with this. Yes, expletives. No. Maybe your life has something to do with this. Maybe your life has something to do with this. I don't understand. Of course you don't. You mentioned it's happening right now. That's enough. Okay. So, it's going great. So to answer the question of how many Linuxes we can use at one time, it's one, apparently, because we can't use more than one. Rev says that'll be $7,000. Well, you know, you get what you pay for. Actually, it's free, right? It's free software. You get what you pay for. You can't kill the buffer until you pay the doctor. That would be pretty funny, though. All right. Let me think about a... this is a good, you know, good... what's the word? Advertisement for geeks, isn't it? Can't complete the simplest thing. Update system. Let's see what happens. Benoit says it died. Yes, it died. What does Geeks Weather Distrobox say? I don't think that's the problem, but Geeks Weather, it basically tells you if substitutes are available. Basically, a substitute is a pre-built binary package for a piece of software in Geeks. So Geeks Weather will tell you if it's available. Fade says, I feel like we're getting hung up on Geeks a lot in the streams. Yes, I feel like that too. That's why I've been trying to use other things like Alpine, and that shit to bed today. So we're having trouble with everything. So it looks like we're going to be using Debian for everything, because Debian is the only stable distribution that you can rely on. Alternate Vet says, base operating system unbound variable. I don't know why that happens. The way that I have my system config modularized, for some reason it just gives me that error, even though it can still reference the binding. Lexaplex says, Lo, you need a VM. Yeah, I might have to resort to a VM in the end, which requires setting up a VM, which I did not want to have to do. Benoit says you should probably switch to Nix. I don't know, man. I'm going to switch to Ubuntu 16 or something. I'm going to become a technology Luddite because I can't get anything to work. Okay, finally, for God's sake. Can we run friggin' Distrobox? Yeah, okay, that's fine. LS, etc. Container? Containers. Okay, the file is there. So, Geeks Shell Distrobox. Distrobox. I should probably just go into the shell and not be trying to do this through an indirection. Ed says, hey Ed, Fedora Silverblue comes with Toolbox, which is basically the same as Distrobox. Toolbox is a simpler version of the same thing. I don't think that it's the same. I think Distrobox does a little bit more, but that's my half-baked understanding. Redacted says, it looked like you were getting 504 errors. Yeah, I think that my internet is overloaded because I'm streaming at the same time that I'm trying to install this stuff. Okay, here we go. Distrobox create Ubuntu. So it told me at the very top of the main page, I think, that I should be able to say Ubuntu 2004. I think that's not right. I think it's something else, like Ubuntu-Toolbox 22.04. Do I want to pull the image? All right, so it did not resolve to an alias and no container registries was found. So I think I need to be more specific. There we go. We're making some progress now. Finally, after we had to go talk to the doctor, we might be able to install something. Alternate Ved in the chat says, Toolbox is mostly a Fedora tool. Distrobox improved upon the idea of Toolbox. All of my knowledge about Distrobox and Toolbox today comes from Alternate Ved, who was schooling me on this whole situation. I appreciate Alternate Ved's time. I learned lots of nice things from Alternate Ved in the chat, in the IRC chat. Copying system image from manifest list, adding a layer blob. Oh, okay. So apparently wait, what? Hold up. Run podman system migrate. So it wants the sub UID and sub GID. I saw in the mailing list post I was following that somebody was doing that. They're creating these files. I don't really want to do that. I'm not exactly sure why it's doing that. Do I need to run Distrobox as sudo? Kind of defeats the purpose. Docker. Rootless Docker is still not working as intended and will be included in the future when it's complete. If you use Docker, use probably root rflag, the containers will run as root, so root inside container, modify system stuff outside the container. I need Podman for that, I think. And Podman is not working correctly in Geeks as far as I know. Oh, it's World of Geese. Haven't seen World of Geese in a while, unless they're in the Matrix. The Matrix chat. Luxaplex says, what you should do is run an LXC container. This is more like a VM versus Docker inside Docker. Gotcha. Trev says, every time the light theme tab comes on the screen, Fade hisses like a vampire. Let's hack the Gibson. I don't want to do that. Adding my user in the Docker group. Yeah, but the thing is, C group pain because the elongated D service will create some mount points which we need to modify. Is there a mailing list post about that? Oh no, it's a commit. Yes, I remember seeing that in the past. Alexander says you need to allocate 65536 sub UIDs if you're going to run rootless containers. I don't want to have to do that. So do I do -R then? Man, what a nightmare. We're going to run it as root. Excuse me. And we're going to see if it lets us do what I want it to do. I kind of doubt it, but we'll find out. The image seems to be pretty small to begin with. I don't know how cut down this is, but it's a toolbox image. So my guess is that it doesn't have a desktop environment installed on it. Okay, so it worked. That's great. So that Ubuntu, Ubuntu. Okay, so Distrobox enter root or -R Ubuntu toolbox 2204, and it should be what? Cannot find a supported package manager. Huh. That's really strange. Okay, that one doesn't work. All right, so let's try a different one. We could try. We want to try Alpine. What about Fedora? What is this Fedora toolbox image? Fedora-toolbox Docker. I see. Okay, on Fedora, this is the Fedora toolbox image. Use to create a toolbox container that offers the interactive command line environment. So they were saying that there should be images. Oh, okay. This is the Ubuntu ones. I see. So maybe I need one of these instead to have like the actual environment. Let's try that. I wish that it was possible to create and run. Maybe there is a way to do that. This one should be larger, I would think. We have other Alpine. Let's see, Alpine toolbox. We don't want the toolbox one. We want the real one. So that's a Docker IO one. What is happening? Is it not supposed to be running this inside of the image? Oh, it's trying to run Podman. Hold up. How do I make that use Docker instead? Hello, Shatterstone. Docker. There must be an environment variable I can set to force it to use Docker instead. I don't know why it's trying to use Podman. I think it's just because it's set up that way in the Geeks package. Container manager Docker. Oh, okay. This is the configuration file. This should be in, I wonder if it's going to use my user. Oh, here we go. There it is. DBX container manager. Let's just set that. Export equals Docker. Ooh. Sorry, what? We need a container manager. What are you looking for? All right. Minimum Docker client version. Okay, so Docker-V. It's 2010. It's fine. So it seems that Distrobox is a little bit more acclimated to using Podman or whatever this Lilypod is. That's not in Geeks. Really weird. So clearly it doesn't. Oh, this is like that because I think that okay, let's look at the package definition for Distrobox. That's going to tell the tale. It's going to tell us if it's kind of hacked to use Podman, and yes, it seems it's hacked to use Podman and not Docker. question then becomes, who is using Distrobox and Geeks? Well, let me see. Magic Blame. Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, let's go to projects code geeks and then this is the containers at the SCM file. Okay, so we're here, containers.scm. There we go. Now Distrobox. Now I want to get magic blame this file and see who's adding this stuff. Okay, so someone named Adam. Wait a second. I want the commit, but I pressed the wrong button. What is happening? So it was added about a year ago, it seems. And now Emacs is locked up. So, come on. All right, here we go. I'm really confused about what's happening with Emacs right now. Any other details? Wrap all the executables in a reasonable default environment. Yeah. Okay. Am I really gonna have to kill Emacs now? All right. It's gonna make me do it. Yes, we have Alacrity. And thank God it actually works. Yeah, Emacs is, wow, look at how many OBS processes we have. What the hell just happened? Oh, it crashed on its own. Okay. And Firefox as well. Let me know if the stream is still running, because that was very strange what just happened. Music died, yes. Joshel says, why not consider building a desktop? I'm going to. All right, so Emacs. Let's just get it back up again. Implementing a Kubernetes cluster in Geeks using Scheme? No. We're going to go simpler and simpler because I'm getting real fed up with constant problems. I don't really blame it on Geeks necessarily, but you know, me being a Geeks user for personal use is great. It's fine. But me being a Geeks user on stream sometimes is a huge liability. Yes, it's not on screen because I need to start the bot back up again. Require DW streaming. Is that it? Okay. Start chat. Live crafter. Oh, really? Okay. Not an auto load. All right, so there's that. And then start music. Fade. Okay. That was great. Today is not the best day to use Geeks. Yes, it's definitely not working out so well. Now the chat's back. At least that was the worst of what happened. For now. Okay, so where were we? Firefox is still here, that's good. So apparently Emacs just totally went night-night. Oh, and I think I lost Chromium. Oh, Chromium got lost because of... it was launched from within Emacs. There we go. Okay. Got to keep an eye on the stream. Trev says, Geeks is just a wrapper for NPM, right? No. That would be horrifying. But you know what? I'll bet money that somebody has thought once before about building a Linux distribution off of NPM. Left pad definitely got us again. What a nightmare, dude. I really got to increase the reliability and quality of these streams. All right, here we go. So back into vterm. The problem we had is that it seems that the Distrobox install in Geeks is locked to Podman. Geeks, Podman. To get Geeks working, sorry, Podman working in Geeks. Left pad is spying on us. Well, you gotta blame somebody for this problem. Podman not configured properly. Yeah. Doesn't work because of this. What's a good way to fix this? Yeah, that's not the only problem. Rootless Podman Docker. Okay, we got another Reddit thread. Need some Podman. Yeah, I'm gonna need something. This is a bad time to quit drinking. I'll tell you that. All right, so let's check out. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Podman. Git blame left pad. Yes, indeed. All right, Podman. I don't know if there's a service for Podman that can configure some of this stuff. It would be nice if there was. There's probably an equivalent file, services. Is it Podman? Containers. So services, containers. Nope, no containers. OCI container configuration. Interesting. Now that looks like it might be useful. Let's see, info. Geeks. Right there. And services. Actually, container services? No. Docker. Wow, is this not documented in the manual? Luxaplex says, "Can I donate bandwidth?" That's not it's not going to help in this case, unfortunately. I know what the key binding is. Control info node. G, capital G. That's right. So procedure index service. I don't think it's networking, is it? Oh, what was it called? Let's just look that up. OCI. Let's just look at the damn code. I mean, come on. Container accounts, Shepherd services. Gun says Podman doesn't need a daemon. No, it doesn't need a daemon, but it does need your system to be configured correctly with C groups. And doesn't seem to be the case with Geeks by default. Etc. slash, no. Container slash, nope. Hello to Saboto. Container D, Shepherd service. Don't want that. It's like it's locked to Docker. Podman. Why not install something like Linux Zen? That should have C groups and more stuff. Help with the responsiveness. What is Linux Zen? Okay, let's go to the actual Geeks repo. Okay, packages, containers. For Podman to work, ooh. Little, I think that doesn't work though, does it? Let's try that out. Go back to vterm. Geeks shell. Podman. Distrobox. And then if I look at that one more time, it says to use this mount sudo. I think this doesn't work because there's already a file there. Yeah, already mounted on proc because elognd did that. Yeah. Okay. Remount, I don't know if I can mess with that because that was done by a geek system. And if I do that, we're going to have a bad time. If you don't need elognd, then that could work. I suppose if I were to put that into the Geeks container, it would probably work, but the Geeks container needs to actually complete installation or creation. Initialization? Initialization. Can't you just symlink? I don't think so. All right, so I don't know. Let's try it one more time with a temp Distrobox folder. All right, so geek system container config.scm. I mean, it gave us the path last time. Root into a new tree and unshare the outer world. I don't know, man. Okay, so we got a container here. We're gonna sudo run that. Please wait while gathering entropy to generate the key pair. This may take some time. Well, how long does it take? Because it didn't take that long last time. Okay. So to me, ideally, here's what I would like to see from something like Distrobox. And maybe this is more of a thing for a distribution sort of like Fedora Silverblue, which I haven't really used before, but apparently it does. Lost YouTube chat. Okay, I think it's fine. Move your mouse. Yeah, I'm moving my mouse. I'm doing stuff, and it still isn't working. I don't know where it's trying to get the entropy from, but it certainly doesn't seem to be completing this operation. So what I'm trying to say is that if you have a sort of minimal distribution like Alpine, when Alpine does happen to work, unlike today, if you have Alpine and then you have these Distrobox containers for various different programs you want to use, or maybe setting up developer environments, which you don't really need Distrobox for that. You can just like pull one of these containers and use it directly with Docker potentially. But it might be useful for kind of keeping your normal working environment clean. And then, running certain programs from inside of a container or development environments inside of a container. Geeks does a pretty good job of, setting up throwaway developer environments, but also Geeks has, trouble at times, like we're seeing today. So I'm trying to find alternatives to Geeks, not because I'm planning to not use Geeks, but just because I I want something a little bit more predictable, I think, for streams. Because as we see, we can waste a whole stream trying to get things to work in Geeks. No, I'm not on Alpine right now. I was trying to use Alpine today, and it didn't work because Grub would not boot the system because there's a bug in whatever version of Grub that I had installed most recently. Alternate Vet says, Distrobox is a nice wrapper to export applications, desktop entries, and integrate with the rest of the system. Yeah, it does definitely makes it feel more seamless, I think, which is useful whenever you're trying to install apps from inside of containers. All right. Benoit says, it really looks like you're describing Nix. You know, Nix has a lot of nice things, but I hate the language. It's just awful. Saboto says that troubleshooting is fun. It's not fun for me. Dave says, boo. Are we booing Nix? Or are we booing using something other than Geeks? Gunn says, a custom sandbox crafter streaming Geeks container. Well, we definitely need something. You know, I want people to think I'm a professional. You know, I'm a professional live streamer, coder person. Like, I actually, you know, have my shit together and I can start a stream and actually talk about the thing that I intend to talk about. But today is definitely not delivering on that premise. Okay, this is not going to complete, is it? We have used Geeks system container on the stream before, and it did not do this. So I have no idea what's going on. All right. Okay, so last ditch effort. Can we set up a VM, which I haven't done in a while? Cut yourself some slack. You're doing fine. I don't know. There's always the devil on the shoulder telling me, "Oh, this sucks." Using something other than Geeks. Well, you know, Geeks is giving me trouble sometimes. And it can be hard to recover from these problems whenever I'm having to deal with it live. Okay. So, Distrobox, do they suggest any particular distro to be the host distro? Alternate Vet says, next week's stream, leaving Geeks as a system. I've tried to leave Geeks. I can't leave Geeks because it does so many things that I want. Gunn says the angel on the other shoulder. There is no angel on the other shoulder. Just my nagging feeling of failure. Try an LXC container. Let's see. Running an LXC container. I admit I don't know how to do that. Unless we're talking about like QEMU or something. LXC. Integration with Emacs. What? No, that's not right. What about Alpine, Debian plus Geeks with some kind of Geeks home manager? Yeah, I've definitely thought about that. I mean, it works. Speaking about the devil, what about BSD? FreeBSD is pretty dope. I like FreeBSD. It's a nice system. I don't have a lot of experience with OpenBSD or NetBSD. Dave says, using Geeks on another distro is a big downgrade. It does introduce problems that can be hard to diagnose sometimes. Saboto says, are you always changing your configuration? No, my config is quite stable. You can't really... If you look at my .files repo, let's see, when is the last time I committed a change to my .files repo? Not the main branch, because the main branch is 3 years out of date because I switched the Geeks home branch and I haven't actually merged it back, which I should do because there's no reason not to. Last month. Okay, last month I made a commit. There's a bunch of stuff I was just messing with last month. And before then, it was 3 months ago. And then it was 4 months ago. And then 8 months ago. So I don't change things very frequently because I have my setup that I like. And it doesn't really change that frequently. So it's not a matter of the change is causing problems. The problem is that something I'm trying to use, which I haven't used yet, has problems. Let's see. Kingsley says, idea for next stream, Geeks without a login manager. I never got it working properly. Well, you should just use Wayland instead because it's very easy to do that. But yeah, I see what you mean. Alternate Vet says, I think you don't have Emacs in org on Geeks Home branch, which might be helpful for newcomers. I don't have Emacs. I don't have literate config files. Though recently I've considered going back to that. I don't use EXWM. This is Sway. Sabota says, so we just need to get this working? Yes. And it's much harder than it should be because geeks. All right, so we do have access to LXC. I've been using Sway for probably a year now, and I'm extremely happy with it. Thanks for Shaw. Gunn says, I tried Wayland, but it looks yucky. Probably had to fiddle with kernel modules. Oh, NVIDIA cards, if you're using the actual NVIDIA drivers, don't work very well with Wayland for some reason. I think there's a driver issue. Yeah, I think because Ashraz is not here, all these problems are happening because we need Ashraz to be here to help solve the problems, or at least to play the role of left pad so we can have someone to blame. Huh. So if I were to go into, wait. Download template will help you select a container image. Does it work that easily? Let's see. vterm exit out of this. Jeez, man. Geeks shell LXC. Use QEMU. Yeah, no problem, Dave. I stole it from RDE. Because that's the kind of community member I am. Check config. I bet this is not going to work either. Missing. Does it matter? Okay. Template download. Do I have to download the template? And now this image server can be used by selecting the LXC download template. And where is it? Pipewire is awesome. Like, I didn't expect Pipewire to be as good as it is, but it is. It's the future. Everything else is dust at this point. Okay, so maybe this just works. LXC create. I'm about to do some stuff that's going to kill my system. Name. Debian. What's it going to do? Yeah, there's no config file. What's your problem? Yeah, we're not playing with that. Yes. Debian QEMU. Setting up a stable system. Download the... Oh, there's no update since 2015? Quick Image Baker pre-baked images. AMD 64. Okay. What a nice file name. Niklaus, hey Niklaus, says, you're our champion not because you always easily win, because you teach us how to include more curiosity in our struggles. In other words, you can't lose, brother. Thank you very much for the kind words of encouragement. You know, Alpine also has a QEMU image that might be easier to make this work with. Install Alpine and QEMU, because god damn, I can't deal with this anymore. Download the latest Alpine image. Install QEMU. I want standard. I don't want to install it. I just want to run it. Is it netboot? For use in containers, minimal root file system. Okay, which Alpine image to run directly in QEMU? Extended, Drashal says. Are we sure about that? Download the latest Alpine image. Create a disk image if you want to install. I don't want to install it. I just want to run it. And maybe have things working. Necessary cookies. Whatever. See you, Dave. Extenda has the actual extra tools. All right, let's give it a shot. I just want to run it and see if we can do anything useful with it. So x86-64, ISO file. Thank you, Drashal. About a gig, great. And once I have that, diskless mode. To boot the ISO file without any need for a virtual hard drive image or further configuration. Yes, that does seem to be the same file name. So I think Drashal is right about that. So I should be able to load that up. But I'm not going to have the integrations that I want to have. Like running desktop apps is not going to work because it's going to be in a VM. So we're back to square one. And I don't know if LXC is going to solve that problem either. Nothing but headaches. We can try running Alpine in there just to see things. Elephant says, I've enjoyed this meandering stream. It's like my normal banging my head against the wall, getting things working, but with company. Yes. Well, definitely it's, I wouldn't do this by myself. If I had all this trouble by myself, I would have just like, you know, done something else like play Call of Duty. To create this quickly. I don't really want to create one. I just want to run it. So QEMU system x86-64. We do have that installed. That's good news. And then the image is in downloads, or it should be in downloads. No such file or directory. Where did you put it? And the problem is I don't have a file manager installed. Huh. So I can't actually see where the file went. Okay, what if I do downloads? Okay. Is it the wrong version number on the file? Alpine. Extended. Okay. My mistake. That's it, right? Here we go. Let's boot this thing up. All right, so just plain old root. APK install. Let's see. Alpine. Distrobox. I'm pretty sure there's some docs. There is definitely Alpine Podman information. Okay, so APK add, not install, add Podman. Error. APK update. APK add Podman. What is going on? Is it in a, oh, it's in the community repository. Of course. Of course. VI, etc. Repositories. No, APK. Repositories. There we are. Yikes. Can I actually put the community repository in there? APK update. Yeah, I did that. So, Alpine add community repository. Because I don't remember what the URL is for that. So mirror server Alpine. There we go. Can I not paste? Machine. Yeah, it's not. Not gonna let me paste it. You're really gonna make me type that, aren't you? Install it to disk. I don't want to do that. Been dealing with this crap the whole time. HTTPS, DLCDN. Let's do this so we don't have to keep blinding ourselves, flashing back and forth, right? This better work. V3.19, right? Etc. No. Main. I can't see anymore. APK update. Okay, it's trying to do something. Temporary error. Probably I did something wrong. Did I forget the slash at the end? Is that really necessary? Probably. No, it shouldn't be, right? Should have found it. Alpine Edge main 3 V319. Wow. Let's try a Luxaplex suggestion in the chat. Yeah, I don't know if I want to pull Edge in here. Certainly possible to try Edge. I think that, hold on. IF config, IP config. Is it connected to network? I got the right commands for this. Networking, where is it? Interfaces, set up interfaces. Probably I need to do that, right? Sure. DHCP, no. Set up, yeah, okay. So you can't ping. See ya, Grizzly. Set up DNS. DNS domain name? No. Set up DHCP. There's not a script for that. Huh. Okay. You know, screw it. Yeah, I did that. It didn't work. So LXC create name container template download dist alpine release 3.19. Let's see if it does anything. Oh, I bounced out of the LXC shell. There we go. It doesn't like the fact that I don't have a config file. Config. Nicolas says, learning more about Nix has actually fueled a lot of personal exploration of functional programming concepts. Somewhat separately, I'm starting from scratch with Guile, and I've been wowed by what I've read of its potential. Scheme in general is a very nice language. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that I didn't have internet, though. Install Alpine and QEMU? Man, we don't have time now. Like, we've got, like, 10 minutes left. And, I don't think we're going to get there. It's okay, though. We tried. We made a valiant effort to try to make this work. What have I learned from this experience today? First of all, don't update your Alpine system to Edge if you need to use it for something. Gun says, just enough time to finish another layer of Tetris. Don't get me started on that. But yeah, like using containers, I feel like is a good way to make parts of one's configuration reproducible, because, you know, container is sort of by definition reproducible. You start with a pre-baked base image. And you can also configure that image just using a Docker file or anything else. Nicolas says this episode is part of the build for the mid-season arc. Yeah, you know, got to figure out what that is, though. This season of System Crafters. Yeah, we need to figure out what we're going to do for the rest of this season before I pull my hair out, and then we have to start the next season, the darker timeline. So I would like to be able to use Distrobox. You could have installed instead of Xorg on Alpine by now. Yeah, I know, dude. I know. All right. Since there's nothing else to do but complain, I mean, sure. Let's just do it, okay? I can actually show it inside of the freaking VM. That's fine. All right, so I need to create an image. What a nightmare. Where did I have that exit? What the hell just happened? All right, I have the QEMU invocation, which is good, but let's not do that right now. I want to get the VM first, the image creation, Alpine QCal2. Let's go to temp Distrobox. Paste that in. 8 gigs, that's plenty. Yes, because it... Okay, formatting, blah, 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 blah. Looks like it worked. Is it here in this folder? Yes, it's in this folder. Let's do this. Copy that whole thing here. Try LXC with sudo. Yeah, maybe. All right, so this is extended. And I open, oh, yeah. All right. Now I just got to go through the Alpine installation procedure, which is not that hard. Root. Let's see, where is it? Was it US? Yeah, US. Variant. US. Host name. Okay, yeah, I don't care about host name. Is that it? No, we're not putting GR in. We'll have more problems if we do that. Okay, so this appears like it finished. APK update. Okay, that worked. APK add Podman Distrobox. Oh, come on. APK upgrade. Oh, wait, I gotta put it in etc. apt apt. There we are. That's the one. I said WQ. Okay, thank you. Update again. There we go. All that whining for nothing. Okay, so we have a Distrobox set up. What was that text file that I had? Containers .txt. Did I kill that file? Oh, Emacs died. That's what happened. Okay. We should put. Yeah, we got it finally. Just for the sake of getting something running in here. 105 minutes later. Yes, don't remind me. My shame. Okay. Create I can't freaking paste, of course. So that was Docker.io library Ubuntu. Okay. Hey, show 'em. Okay, Distrobox enter Ubuntu 2204. Fail to add C groups. Oh, yeah, there's something I need to do for C groups for Podman in Alpine. We need to RC update add C groups. Is that right? And okay, for rootless support, which I do need, mod probe ton. I think I tried this once in the past. All right. Yeah. Echo. Is that right? Or must I use my username there? My name is Root. My name Root. I'm Root. I should be able to use this, period. So let's not even bother with that. Starting container. Okay, here we go. Installing basic packages. Oh, goodness. An error occurred. Error. An error occurred. That should have been the title of the stream. Because we've been having nothing but errors. Watch the logs? No, we're not bothering with that. The universe is conspiring against me to not actually be able to get Distrobox to work. So anybody who comes on this stream recording later, if you happen to stick around this long, just know that wherever I am at the moment, I'm hanging my head in shame from not being able to get something that should be easy to work. Couldn't get it to work. But I think there's just too many, like, you know, weird moving parts. Even like trying to get rootless Podman set up. I suppose I can try to do this, but it should have just run. Like, I think it would have run. Maybe the Ubuntu image has some issue with the way it's being set up. So what if we were to try to use Slackware instead? So let's do that. Where is it? All right, so Docker.io library. No. Docker.io vbats. Watch Slackware actually works. Slackware 14.2. Yes, pull it. Check the logs, please. Maybe. Maybe. Writing no space left on device. Uh-huh. We've mounted the device. Okay, so we haven't mounted anything. No, that's not the problem here. I think that we literally don't have space left on the device. I think we've got, yeah, that must be what it is. Set up what? Set up, disk. I thought I did. I ran setup alpine-q. Does it not install it, or is it does a diskless install? I don't know, dude. I'm trying to get this done as fast as possible. And clearly it's not doing the right thing. Yeah, I know. Good God. US. Hell. That's the name of our system host name. This is hell. Okay, ETHO, yeah. Same stuff, that's fine. No manual network configuration. It's not even rebooted. Yeah, dude, you're the one telling me to do this, so don't give me trouble. ABC123, ABC123. Oh, too weak? I don't care. That's not the point. Yeah, UTC, I don't care. Whatever. Set up a user. Do I care? No. Maybe. The punished man. Too weak. Yeah, it's because I don't care. Okay, SSH key. Don't set up user, no point. Yeah. None of this has any point. Which disk would you like to use? SDA. Sys. Yes. This is so pointless. And after all this, it still won't work. Are we getting anywhere? Hell, okay. I should probably reboot without the ISO attached. Where is my vterm? Kill that. And then do not use CD-ROM. I don't know what boot D means. Okay, here we go. It's going into Alpine at least. Are you? There you go. And I'm sure I'll have to set up C groups again. All right, root. All right, APK update, VI, etc. APK repositories. Okay, so it actually remembered it. That's good. I don't know why it has these in there twice though. Distrobox. Okay, so RC update, add C groups. Yeah. RC service, C groups, start. Already been started. Okay, apparently it's partially working already. Do I have any, no, I don't have any, not doc, Distrobox, create -I. Ubuntu 22.04. Let's see if it works like that. Yeah, okay. It automatically resolved it, which is good. Does that work? No. This is the part where it failed last time. Grizzly says, depending on your time, go have a beer. Yeah, I need one. There's no ASH completion? I don't know. Maybe. That could be the Ubuntu mirrors being crap. It's not giving us any information, so. It must be doing something at this point, but it's taking a long time. So this initial image has a little setup script that has to run. And it seems to be installing a bunch of packages, which is taking a long time for no reason. I guess this is where the integration with the host system comes in, though, because Distrobox needs to set up the image to have whatever programs and etc. are necessary to launch applications outside of the container. So that must be why it has this extra setup step. Take 5 to 10 minutes to run. I don't want that. Okay, well, we at least are able to see that it works. Is it going to be faster if I install Alpine? No windmill graphics. I'm killing this. I'm not waiting on this, okay? We're going to put Alpine inside of Alpine because I've had enough. Why is it sticking? Toolbox images should be faster. Yeah, probably so. Oh my God. It's living up to its name here. Alpine should be fine, right? Okay. That's enough. That's enough. It's time to go eat some grilled meat, because this is not happening. Anyway, I hope this was entertaining and educational for all of you today, as it was very entertaining in a bad way for me. Next week, we'll do something that's much more tractable. I have an idea in mind that will make things go smoothly, and it will be Emacs focused, and everybody will be happy. But at least for now, yes, we are literally in the shell of hell. So, do you want to recreate the Ubuntu image? Are you really trying to make me have a stroke? Nicolas says, future show topic, FFI with Guile. Maybe we could talk about that at some point. It's pretty rich, the FFI interface for Guile. So anyway, sorry that the technology gods were conspiring against me today and nothing happened. I blame LeftPad, and I also blame Ashraz for not being here, because maybe things go better when Ashraz is here. Who knows? Now start Docker under Alpine. No thanks. Has Alpaca been covered before? Yeah, I did a stream on that probably 4 or 5 months ago, I think. So anyway, come back next week. It'll be better, I promise. All right, we had to have a bad stream to make up for the really good stream we had last week, so I guess it all balances out in the end. So thanks folks for being here today. Really appreciate your time and attention and patience with me while I go through all of this. I hope you all have a great weekend, and until next time, happy hacking. See ya.